you were talking about politicians abdicating the role to growth, to central banks. But I want to ask you about Brexit, because last month you said if the referendum vote were to happen then, that it was likely going to vote to leave. Do you still hold that same view now?
No, I think President Obama, when he visited the UK, changed the mood. He has a 78% approval rating in the UK, and I think he convinced many voters that it would be the wrong thing to do for the UK. And I think all the issues around the Panama investment patterns have been fully, I think, digested, and I think those issues are behind the Prime Minister, and so I actually see more momentum towards a no vote.
Why do you suppose, though, there is this political rise of anger? Is it that when you take a look at the haves and have-nots, many of those still that they have not participated in the kind of growth that we've seen in the markets, and the anger is only growing?
I think you're right. So many families are working 2 jobs now. So many families have left jobs that had more security to jobs with less security. So many families have left jobs in manufacturing to the service side at smaller wages. And in many cases, so many families have a secure job, but they have not witnessed any increases in their compensation, or their compensation hasn't kept up with inflation. So you put that all together, and yet you're seeing such a disparity of wealth, as you suggested. The one thing that is very certain, what quantitative easing has done worldwide and low interest rates, it helped people who have capital. Equity markets have rallied. The average participant in society doesn't have enough savings to be in the equity markets or own large pools of real estate. So you've seen this widening of gap. Those who have capital have benefited. Those who had a lot of debt and been able to refinance benefited. But the typical middle class have not benefited. And this is the anger. The middle class throughout the world, in the developed world, has been crunched.
And that's what Donald Trump is tapping into, national versus globalism. What does a President Trump mean for a global economy? And what does he mean for financial markets?
Well, I think whoever's president, whoever is going to be the leaders of the UK and Spain, whoever's the leaders in countries that are not having an election, I think it's a wake-up call that we have this anger, that we have families who've lost hope, that they're worried about their children and their children's future. This is why I think it's essential we need this fiscal policy response, why this fiscal policy response needs to be directed towards infrastructure, that we can create better, higher quality jobs, higher paying jobs, in building necessary infrastructure for a better future for their children and their grandchildren. And I think it's very essential. So whoever is president, and whether it is Donald Trump or not Donald Trump, whether it's Prime Minister Cameron or Boris Johnson, it means you have to respond to these issues.